Hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome back. It is October and I would like to focus on envelopes this month. I'm going to start off with a crazy, well, I don't know how crazy it is, but it looks fun. And I saw this. This is an envelope journal. It's an only envelope journal. Which is not really a traditional journal. There's lots of writing spaces in the tags and the tucks and the inserts, but there's no paper necessarily. And perhaps you could add paper to the middle, and we may revisit that. We'll see. But I saw this over at a Trace of Sparkle. And I think she said she got it from Firefly Studio 67 and Gina and Charlotte Peterson. I believe that's who she said was her inspiration, but I'll list Trace of Sparkle. I think it's Jennifer. I'll list her below because that's who I saw do it. And she, oh my gosh, everything she does is just gorgeous. All the laces and everything is just fabulous. So my attempt probably won't come near that, but I thought that looked like so much fun. And I do have a stack of envelope. My sister sends me her envelopes. I save all my envelopes, and I believe this is just 6 envelopes, and then we're going to cover them and add, I have a lot more than 6 here. We're going to cover them. We're going to add maybe some pockets, and I think I'm going to go through my list. Now, those of you who've been following me for a while, my list is what I like to include in a journal. Let me get an example here. I wrote that I was going to do one for G's, but I never did do any of that because I ended up not putting inserts in. But this is a printable that is available on my Facebook page. You can find that link below as well, and it's in the file section. They come 4 to a page. In fact, I'm down to, I think, 2. I've been writing notes on the back. I'm down to, oh, this is my last one, so I need to print some. But basically, I think I'll go through and say, okay, the front and back cover, see what applies, and use this as a guide to what I want to stuff in here, because it's not going to necessarily have writing paper. It might have some little booklets and things like that, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, so let's see what we want to put in here. She said she used 6 envelopes. I suppose you could use as many as you want. I have a lot in here that are the same size. These 2 are larger. These are like 5x7s, and then that's the same size. These are a little smaller. That one's a little bigger. It would be easier if I had them. I'm not sure I want to use this or not, but it was in with my envelope, so maybe I will. For the cover, she used a large one, so I think I'm going to use this one for the cover, and I don't know even what this is from. But here's another large one. So let's find some that are different sizes. And I think I'll use this one for the cover, and then we'll have the flap at the bottom. And we'll do some of these skinny ones, and we may seal these, but I'll put a skinny one at the top and another skinny one at the bottom, so that's 3. And then I think I want to add one of these 5x7 sizes. I have this one too. This one has a window, and this one has a small window. So let's use, I think I want to use this for the center. Let's use this for the center. And here's another size. Our daily bread envelope. I think I'll do that one upside down too. I kind of like the tucks there. And what else have we got? I'm just winging it here. Yeah, most of my envelopes are the same size. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do another one this size, and then maybe we'll do the middle one. We could do them all upside down, and then they'd all have that tuck on the bottom. So let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. Put these aside, and I may add these, some of these back in because what I'd like to do while we're doing this is make ephemera with envelopes as well, because there's a lot of videos out there showing how to make ephemera with envelopes. So I'd like to include some of that. I am going to go ahead and continue using the Country Road because there's so many gorgeous pages in here. And then, so let's fold these first. And I have saved all my scraps from our last project in this envelope, so we'll be able to use those too. And yeah, so let's fold these in half. I really like the way that this piece looks in the center. My bone folder out. Oh, did I tear something? No? Sounded like I heard a rip. This one is bigger flap. I think I want this one this way. Now, it does have a window, but I'm not concerned about that. I'll probably cover this whole side. So we'll have that. I think I talked myself into doing them all upside down. And then what I'll maybe do is let's do some this way and some the other way. So let's do this one with the pockets on the outside. And that one can be at the top. We don't have to, it's not set in stone, but so we've got that one going that way. Okay. This one going the same direction. And like I said, it doesn't matter which way you do it. You can center them, you can stagger them, whatever you want, like that. And then I'm going to take this big one, and I think I'm going to leave the pockets on the inside. So that's perfect. Okay. Now sometimes when you're folding, because like this one's really thick paper, it'll kind of crease, and you can just take that out. So this is going to be, you can see how flat it is right now, about 1/4 inch thick. But by the time we add everything to it, it is going to be a thick, chunky journal, which is what I love. So the size of this one is approximately 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 4 3/4 by 6. So let's get our papers out and start matting. And I'm just going to start on the outside. And what I figured I would do to make it easiest for me is whatever I do to this side, I'm going to do to this side, just like I do in my regular journal. So if I do a belly band over here, I'm going to do a belly band over here. Probably not on a pocket page, but if this wasn't the cover, I might do that on the opposite pages. So this is going to be different for me too, and so I'm just going to have a play. Get some papers. Let's see, I'll choose 6 really quick. let's choose some that we haven't used. I mean, this is a similar design, but I haven't used the pink one. I may use that one for the cover. I love this one. This is almost, yeah, Asian inspired. I really like that one. I have Blue Willow China, so yeah, see this paper and this paper, it's the same flowers, I believe. Well, not exactly, but very close. But this one is with the burlap and this one's with the wood. So that's what we used for the cover on the last journal. And that's what we used for our envelope. I'm sorry, it's sideways, guys. I don't have enough room for all of it. This is beautiful too. It's got the texture behind it. So let's put that one out. And we used this one. Not fond of this one, but this one would be perfect the next time I use one of those manila envelopes, because this is that school bus color. Love this one, but we used it. Let's use this one. Have an accent of color. And let's see, how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like to have 6, and then I can use, this one's really cool because it has the fabric. It's like almost like chenille. And then yeah, there's some brick textures in here. This one has the very similar to that Asian inspired page. Got this one. Ooh, that's pretty too. But I've already got a floral. Ooh, let's use this one. Let's use this one. Okay, so now I've got 6. I think I've got to look at, I still have a ton of paper left. There's a lot of paper in these packs. So let's decide what we want for the cover, and we will do this side first. This is going to be the cover. So pretty sure I want that rose page for the cover. Yeah, just like that. So I'm going to turn this over. I know I want to do this corner here, and then I'm just going to apply the glue. Probably should have filled up my bottle. I used more than I thought yesterday. But I just wanted to get busy playing with this one. I've had this one on my list for a long time, and I kept bumping it, and I thought, you know what, I should do a bunch of envelope journals at one time. And then I started thinking I should do, you know, I started looking at my wish list of all the things I wanted to make, and that's how I ended up with, you know, the idea of doing a monthly kind of theme. I tried doing weekly. You may have seen that in my playlist, or daily themes, and it's just too much work to do that, and too scattered, if you will. It didn't work for me. I love watching it when other people do it that way, but for me, trying to put the together, it didn't work too well. So I'm going to use my my knife to trim this. And I'll come back. I didn't do very well there because well, maybe not on the cover, but on some of these we are going to add pockets to the top. Either cut this open or cut the sides open, but I'm going to decide that later. So right now I'm just trimming the paper around here. Oops. Slid. I have a Martha Stewart ruler that I use for sewing that has like a non-skid texture on the back. That was not straight at all. And I really wish that these had something like that. I should probably find that and use it anyway. It's like 3 inches by 12 inches, but it doesn't slide. And I have such a heck of a time with this Tim Holtz ruler. I love it, but it slides. Let's trim this down with the scissors. If anybody knows of some kind of a grip or something that you can add, it seems like for quilting there should be something you could add to the back. A double sticky tape even, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Let's go ahead and fold this piece. Now I am going to sew on this journal, but if you are making this journal, you do not need to sew. I just like the way it looks, and oh, that is pretty. I wasn't sure, but now I am. That is nice. So now we want to mat this. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold this, and I'm going to go ahead and trim this out from this corner, because then I don't have to worry. See that little crease there? I don't have to worry about that. And I can kind of curve this to, well, I don't need to curve it. I got to cover it with paper, but probably should have covered it first, but that's okay. But you can see now that that's not going to interfere when you have that cut apart. So what paper are we going to put in here? We have the pink. Do you guys want to watch me do this? I mean, like in real time. This is me. I'm going to have to, you know, I'm going to keep these closed, and I'm going to sew around. I think I might put the pockets in the top, so I don't need to leave this open at the bottom. So I'm just going to cover this. Yeah. Sorry about that. I think I'm going to just put a tick mark on these instead of trying to use the blade, because that worked out so well. I'm just going to trim this. Okay, sorry about that. I had an intruder. My husband came home early, and he said, "It's too bright outside," and then I come in the hallway and I didn't see your sign. So anyway, all right. What was I going to do? I was going to cut this. Just have a little bit of a smaller piece to work with. And I'll be able to use that on something else as well. So, is it this one or the other one? It's this one. It's not quite 6 inches. Yeah. So I'm going to line it up at the top there. Use that for something else. What did I do with that other piece? Oh. I have a bunch of mess here, guys. Okay, so I'm going to line this one up. Make sure there's no words, just paisleys. Okay, so I'm going to line it up on the top of this. And I do want to glue on the envelope side. Okay, so let's get that down. And if there's any white showing, of course, we'll ink around that, and that will take care of that. There we go. All right, so that's the inside of that piece. And then we're going to want a piece for that. I think I might just take, this might be big enough. Let's see. I'll just use my scissors. This is going to be very, oh, it's only enough for one. Let's use something else, something more contrasting. We can use this. It's going to be very thick, so I think I'll do it this way. And we'll line it up on the edge, trace around, and I'm matting everything completely on this. I'm not leaving any margin on the envelopes because the envelopes are so different. We have some that are in color, we have some that have green on the edges, and so gee whiz, I can't even see that. Let's try that again. I'm gonna have to use a pin and then cut on the inside. Go carefully so I don't mark up. Well, it's going to be covered, so it doesn't matter. The pencil is easier because it stays pretty much where you put it. The pen, for me anyway, these pens write so well that they kind of go where they want, but I can see that better. All right, so I'm just going to cut this piece off and then do the next one. I want to make sure that I have it over so that it covers that. Yeah, you can see this one has some green on it. And what I probably should do is draw on the back of the paper. That would make more sense. Okay, so let's cut this out. Around the and like I said, if it's not exactly right, we'll fix it. We'll ink it. Ink fixes everything. So one, not going to keep that scrap of paper. And the second one. It's not a I mean, it's rounded, but it's not a big amount. It's just barely. Okay, so let's glue those on. And I think I'm going to have to sew the flaps first if I want that texture. Yeah, see, I didn't get exactly close enough. That's okay. It's not going to be noticeable by the time everything is said and done. And you know, when you're looking at it now, and I'm kind of, you know, I want everything to be perfect, but this has really helped me not have to have everything so perfect, because I realize once you get all the, you know, tags and cards and inserts in here, you know, it's not as noticeable. I think I'm gonna have to go this way a little bit, because there we go. Boy, that one's really off. There again. We'll make it work. So what I'll do for next time when I do this is do this whole piece at one time, right? Then I could have just folded this over. But that's okay. I'm going to sew around here, and then I'm going to sew around here, and I'm going to put pockets at the top. So let's open the top of this envelope. Now we only need to cut off like a hair to do that. So I've got like maybe a 1/16. Now because of all the layers, I'm standing up to do it. Let's see if that opened. Yay! Okay, so we're good. I'm going to need to put a little bit of glue on these pieces. I guess it doesn't really matter because we're going to sew around it, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. But I'm not going to be sewing the top, so I'm only going to be sewing the sides and the bottom. And I think I'm going to use a straight stitch for this one. I'm going to use my brown thread that I have because I really like it, and it's just no fancy name, just brown. Let's go ahead and ink this. There, see, it's already better. Just with the ink. So if you don't want to sew, you know, don't sew, add your ink. And you know, you could do faux stitching as well if you wanted to, and that would work. I know Carol Tinson does a lot of faux stitching around her projects. So, and everything she does turns out fabulous. So, alright, so let's fold this way and go like this. Don't need to ink inside the pocket. And you know what, guys, this is time consuming, so, you know, enjoy the process. There's only 6 envelopes, and I'm going to show you this one, and I'm going to mat the other 5 off camera, but then I'll come back and we'll do the ephemera together. I already did that. I need to do this. But you can see even with without sewing how, you know, it already looks good on that side. A little bit more ink there. Alright, now I'm going to ink this side, and then I will go sew, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. I love to sew. You know, I do some quilting. I haven't made clothes in years and years. Probably been, oh my gosh, when my husband was in college. So at least 30 years since I've made any clothing. Oh, you know, I did make a couple of things for my daughters, you know, some Christmas outfits and things when they were little, but nothing for me. And but I did get into quilting and embroidering, machine embroidery for a while, which I really enjoyed. And you know what I forgot to do was to fold this. Let's do that real quick. Fold that back down, and then get a little bit of ink on there. Okay, so there's our cover, and it looks great the way it is. So I'm going to go sew around the edges, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to sew this area first, and then I'm going to fold it up, and I'm going to do a straight stitch down the edge, across the bottom, and on the way up. And just that little bit. If you're not going to sew it, put glue line right here. Just, you know, 1/8 to a 1/4 of an inch there, and that will keep this flat so that you have the tuck spot, just like we do on the side tucks. Just that little line of glue, and I'm going to accomplish that with that little line of stitching. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so here it is. This is our cover. I'm not going to do anything else to it until later, but I sewed around each of the flaps, and then I sewed the side, across the bottom, and up the top, and that kind of keeps these laying down so that things can be tucked inside like that. And yeah, it feels nice and sturdy. So this is going to be quite substantial, I think, in weight. And then, like I said, by the time we get everything, so I'm going to have to make some pockets. I'm wondering, should I sew down the middle? No, because I was going to try, well, since it's 6 envelopes, that's 12 layers already, and then by the time I'm at it, that's too many layers of paper for my sewing machine. So I'll probably be using a 3-hole pamphlet stitch to put everything together, and then that will close up these pockets. So there'll be 2 separate pockets. Probably should have notched, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I may have to use my circle punch on this one because I can't get it in the, unless I did both sides, which would be okay too. But we'll see. We'll worry about that later. So there's the cover. I've got 5 more to go. I am just going to mat these and sew around the outside, and then next time we'll start decorating, because this is going to be time consuming, the most time consuming part of it. I think, which not difficult, but I want to take my time and get it right. And I do want to sew this. Now, oh, I was going to mention, because I sewed on this side had, you know, the punch coming through from the needle, and it showed white. So I went back and inked that again on both sides just to cover up the white card. You might be able to see it right there because I didn't do right there, but you know, because that needle goes down, when it comes back up, it leaves the cardstock pooched out. So anyway, all right, so there's the cover. That's part 1. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.